and I thought it was just so weird. So they are going out because Marysol is. Did you guys like the video? Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know you stopped by. It's Friday, girl. Happy Friday. It's Friday night at 8. Please don't be too late. Okay. I hope y'all got some dates. And then make sure you do a background check. Okay. So I'm watching Miami last night. I'm watching Miami last night, and I was really appalled at Julia's behavior. It was very erratic. It was very hysterical. The way that Gertie described how she called her to bring her on the boat. So let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you what happened, and then I'm gonna tell you how I feel about it. How's the lighting in here? Are we good? I feel like we're good. I feel like we're good. Okay, so we're good. Okay, so Marysol is going to marry. They're going to legally come together, her and her husband, and so um, Alexia is giving her a little, I guess, a bridal shower or just a party. You know, they're not doing anything like super, like, kind of traditional at all. Um, Marysol is like 50. I think Marysol's like 58 or something like that. So it's so cute. I thought it was so cute when he like walked her over the threshold and he was like, "I love you, wifey." And then she was like, "Oh," she was like, "My bloomers are out." It was so funny. It's just so campy to me. I like Marysol. Marysol is my favorite. So they're gonna have a thing for Marysol on the boat. Alexia is throwing it. She invited all of Marysol's friends, all of the women. So in the previous episodes, Julia has been making these statements that she doesn't feel safe around Gertie anymore. Gertie is not a safe place for her anymore. So Gertie's like, okay, I know she's mad at me. I guess we'll talk about it when we get to Marysol's party. So she's been making these little statements about um, Gertie being like a social climber or like wanting to network. You do get that. Like I'm saying, you do get that from Gertie. Gertie gives that. Gertie definitely gives when I'm in the room, I'm networking, I'm meeting people. So they had a crew. They were going on some type of cruise. I don't know if it was a day cruise. I don't know how many days it was. I don't know. But Gertie said she was unpacking and there was a cruise and there were 3 tiers. She chose the first tier. Julia couldn't come on the first tier. I'll let fucking Gertie explain it because when I tell you it's the weirdest thing. Okay. So it says here, okay, I kind of want to lead up to that. So they get on the boat. Kiki is there. Kiki is trying to tell in a previous scene. Kiki is trying to tell Gertie, and this is what I caught this when I watched it the second time. She told Gertie, "I'm trying to tell you what the women don't like about you." So evidently Gertie, something about her personality is not vibing with the women, and it's probably that part of her personality. She's very like, I'm networking, I'm in your face. Like she's very, like flamboyant, and I can imagine that by Gertie. Um, and so that's what Kiki was trying to tell her. And she was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not basically shrinking. I'm not doing anything for anybody. I'm not changing myself. I'm not changing who I am. Like I can't help who I am. That's who I am. You're basically saying you don't like me. That's what you're saying because that's who I am. I'm not going to dim myself for you. This is my personality. That's the thing. Like that's just her personality. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. You don't have to like Gertie's personality, but don't act like you like her and then try to change her personality and tell her to, you know, settle down a little bit around us. I don't know. It's very weird. Um, and so they get on the boat or whatever, and Julia's drinking. So I don't know. She's trying to get up the liquid courage. I don't know what is happening. She's drinking, and they were like, you guys need to talk. And she was like, yeah, I'm trying to talk. I don't know what happened. I understand she's upset with me, but I'm not understanding what's going on. I didn't like how she was doing this in Gertie's face. I did not like that. Oh, I was like, she was like doing like this, like pop, pop, pop. She was doing not like, I was just like, ooh, I did not like Julia's the whole energy around her was just so, it gave me the little emoji, the little monster emoji face, like Tokyo Tony, like that type of energy, that type of aggravating, like you're a monster, like a monster. I was so glad that Gertie called her low class. I was so glad she called her that. Because how she behaved and how she just went off, it was weird, and it was for something that has happened 10 months ago, y'all. 10 months ago. I thought it was so funny when they showed the picture of Gertie and Russell on the boat, and it was like 10 months ago. Like, you're this mad over something that happened 10 months ago. I'm going to read you what my comments are. They get on the boat, they sit there. They're like, you guys need to talk. They bring Julia back over. Julia, before that, they were like talking about, we're here for Marysol, this is going to be, fun for Marysol, she's getting married and blah blah blah. And then Julia like blurts out like, cheers to Marysol and getting married, and it was just very off. It was weird. And Gertie called it out. She was like, that was weird, like that. And then Julia walks over to Marysol's husband. I can't remember his name. Walk over to Marysol's husband, and she was like, I love you. And Marysol walks over, then she goes, you guys start kissing. And it was just very weird. Like, she was acting weird already. So then they were like, you guys need to talk. And so Kiki was like, yeah, you guys need to talk. A lot of people are mad at Kiki. I was not mad at Kiki. I understand why everybody wanted Kiki, because here we are again where your identities you have an expectation because you share identity, right? I loved it when they were speaking French to each other and like, we need to leave. And Gertie didn't want to leave after that. I understand where Gertie was coming from, but I also understand where Kiki was coming from. I completely understand where Kiki was coming from. Because when they sat down, it was Julia, Kiki, and Gertie. They were sitting right there. Julia at the end, Kiki in the middle, and Gertie. And then across the table was Larsa, Marysol, Alexia, and then who else was there? Lisa was not there, and neither was Adriana, because she don't fuck with Marysol. So they're all sitting there. Marysol got a patch on her eye because she has a sty on her eye. She don't want nobody to see it. It's a black patch with a dollar sign, bedazzled dollar sign. Anyway, so they're all sitting there, and she was like, well, explain to us what happened, because they're like, Julia's is upset. And Gertie said, okay, let me explain what happened. Okay, now here's Gertie gonna explain. She's been all summer talking to everybody else but me. She's been all summer talking to everybody else but me. Now listen, they are forming a friendship outside of the cameras, right? They're being friends outside of the camera, doing things with each other. I guess, building their friendship. And whatever has been happening has been bothering Julia, and she hasn't gone to Gertie and said anything about it. All right. It's just ridiculous. Why would I want to talk to you? You're so self-centered. You're so self-centered. Now, granted, do I get a little self-centered from Gertie? Yes, I do. But I think what everybody keeps forgetting, and maybe it's because she looks so good, is that Gertie is going through the same thing Martina Navratilova is going through. They have the same diagnosis. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe it's because she doesn't look it, that you think that you are not dealing with somebody who's as going through, like, you want her to have this empathy for Martina, but there's none there for Gertie. None at all. I was like, Julia, off with your head. I don't like Julia no more. I took you on the boat because you wanted to go. Now, I don't know I don't know the details of the boat trip, but apparently Captain Sandy from Below Deck was on there, right? Everybody know, if you watch Below Deck, you know who Captain Sandy is. My thing is, I don't know why in the hell does Julia think that Gertie needs her to get to Captain Sandy when they're both on Bravo. And the night before, they were with Captain Sandy. And you're acting like it's almost Julia is acting like that Gertie is using her. I'm like, do you know who Gertie is? Like, Gertie is very accomplished. She doesn't need Julia for clout. She doesn't need Julia to get into a room. That's why I was like, why is Julia acting like somebody, like she's being used in some way? Girl, nobody is using you. We're both from Bravo. I want to go. And besides that, I was on the cruise before you. We on the second tier. On the second tier of the cruise. It was 3 times to go. Gertie went on the first time. Julia went on the second time. When it was time for Julia to go, something happened with Martina. And so she called Gertie saying, Gertie, come with me on the boat. And she was like, I just got off the boat. I'm over here with Russell. I'm unpacking. She was like, so me being a supportive friend to you, you tell me Martina's having an emergency, but you don't tell me what it's about, what's going on. So I go and be with you on the boat. And now you're mad because of the way I'm moving on the boat. And she says she's mad because she didn't ask her how Martina was. Why didn't you tell her? Why didn't you sit down with her and be like, this is what, because do you remember? Gertie's going through the same thing, girl. Gertie is going through the same thing. What, I don't understand what's not coming together. Did you ask Gertie how she was doing? Girl. Bro, you're the one who freaking called me. What happened? Bro, get your ass down. Girl, bye. Freaking somebody else like that. You talking to somebody else like that. Girl, you just went off on me. So now they're bickering. They're going back and forth. But Julia, when they got on the boat, Julia like snapped at Gertie, like, you don't tell me something. And Gertie was like, girl, what the fuck? Like, girl, why are you mad like that? And it's the overreaction of her behavior. It's like, I don't know, you would have thought that, I don't know, like Gertie did something to her. That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's more than just her not asking about Martina. There's something else, because you're not acting like that just because Gertie didn't ask how Martina was doing when she came on the boat. Are you mad because she was networking and the people weren't paying attention to you? I don't understand. Like, I don't understand what was going on. So let me start it off. Start when she jumped in. That is where she feels like the truth is about to come out. That's what I'm saying. She started stopping her and then she overreacted. I'm gonna let her go. Excuse me. She starts saying that Gertie is psychopath scary. Mind you, you just behaved like a whole entire fucking chicken with their head cut off. Like, literally just acted a plumb fool. But now you're, while Gertie is explaining herself, responding to you in your back and forth, rightfully, but Gertie didn't stand up one time until after she got up to, after she threw the drink on her. But you were just doing all this in her face, and Gertie's sitting there like this, and she's doing all this in Gertie's face. It was weird. Here. Be quiet. I literally. She. I'm gonna show you how she threw the drink on her. She threw that a lot of liquid on her, and to me, I've always felt like throwing a drink on someone is assault. I've always felt like that. I feel like that's assault. That's the same thing. You're hitting me with water. You're directing. You're being violent and aggressive towards me, and you're throwing something on me. It could be bleach. I feel like it's violence. It could be I don't know, it could be something in that water that she's allergic to. You don't know. Like, why are you throwing something on me? I don't know if it was a water. I don't know if it was a drink, but it was like a lot. And she did it like this. She did it twice. Gertie didn't want to leave because what Julia did in that action was try to get Gertie to stop the story, right? I'm going to throw water on you to stop the story. So Gertie's stance was, I'm not leaving. I'm going to finish my story. And Kiki was like, they don't want us here. I'm leaving. She threw drinks on both of us. She didn't apologize. I didn't hear her apologize to Kiki and say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get you with that. You know what I'm saying? You're not that fucking mad. And then after, the way she was looking, because she knew she fucked up. She knew she fucked up, and Gertie told her, you're so low class. I'm so glad she told her that. Girl, you are so low class. And I don't know. what Martina said, I need to understand what Martina said to like put a battery in Julia's back, because when Gertie was telling the story, you could see her wheels turning, and she said, "Oh, you shut up," and threw the drink on her because she called her a manipulator. You heard her. You wouldn't tell me what was wrong with Martina. You wanted me to get on this boat, and then when I get on the boat, you're telling me I asked you to get on the boat. I didn't. How would I have asked you to get on the boat when I just got off the boat? Why? I just told you I don't. I'm here with Russell unpacking my stuff, but because you called me in an emergency, I'm gonna go with you. And now you're acting like I'm here mooching off of you or trying to get clout. It was very. She said Martina had a cancer situation. You're a liar. She said you are such a liar. You are such a liar. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. And everybody keeps saying that Kiki was yeah, people, yeah, Julia really owes Gertie an apology because Gertie did nothing. She did nothing but she wanted her to stop. That's what it was. Gertie was telling that story and she wanted her to stop. And Gertie was like, I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. It was manic and erratic. Thank you. Somebody said it. Julia has officially lost it. She's acting very manic and erratic. Her trying to be the center of attention is not working. It's fake. This is it. That manic, she like, all of a sudden she says, Marysol's getting married. And it was just like very weird. Watch, listen. She said, congratulations on your wedding. It was just very fake and forced. And she just looked evil. And then Gertie was like, you feel guilty because Gertie said, because you were in New York getting a facelift while Martina was having chemo. I was like, oh. She was like, I love watching you kiss. Hold on, let me. Okay, this is Gertie after all of that. She went into the bathroom and event here because of Okay, so just got home from this very interesting, crazy, low class, disgusting event because of a happening. And I'm actually shocked because honestly, I thought that my face was gonna have smear makeup foundation all over it. And I just got home and yeah, face card still in declining. Okay, sweetheart, looking so amazing, fabulous, classy. I'm like, the clown show. I used Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, and then I used one size finishing spray. So those two together will give you this, baby. Nothing. So throw all the water you want, darling. That was Kenya in the next clip. The way that she threw that water on her, it looked like water by the way that it flew. But I want to read my my tweets about it. Why in the world can't she be hanging out with Captain Sandy? They're both on Bravo. Why would Gertie need access to Captain Sandy through Julia when Gertie was on the cruise before her? Because why is she acting like Gertie is using her? I don't know. That was weird to me. Like she says, you're so self-centered. Julia looks dead behind her eyes. It's something else. So Gertie is saying that Julia felt guilty. And then she goes, don't involve my family. And it says, but you can call her to come on the ship with you, but then accuse her of being self-absorbed and using her. I think Gertie deserves some grace. And then I also said, why isn't Gertie's health being considered though? Now Julia is saying that Gertie suggested that she keep her company since Martina couldn't come. Now that she asked her, not that she asked her to come, because Julia is basically saying that Gertie offered to come when she said Martina can't come. And Gertie is saying, no, she asked me to come because Martina wasn't coming. And I didn't offer it to her. I just got back with Russell and I was unpacking my stuff. Like she said it. She said it. Now it's, how can a friend say those things to me? That's what Julia was saying. how could Gertie say those things to me? Because Gertie was calling her low class. She told her Gertie has a like a big personality, but I think it comes also, and I think that's why she's good at what she does. Like she's a planner, right? Wedding planner. She's been in all the magazines. Gertie is not no slouch, and I don't think Gertie needs Julia to get in any rooms. I don't understand that. That's so fucking weird to me. Now you allowed her to get the best of you. I said, did Julia forget that she flashed about something that happened 10 months ago, but in that moment she got the best of you? Like how did Gertie get the best of you? Gertie didn't do anything but start explaining the story, and you stopped her as she was explaining the story. I said, I honestly think that Kiki felt like I honestly think that Kiki felt like the way Julia threw that drink on them and the way the table responded. At one point, Kiki said, let's leave. They want us to leave. They don't want us here. But I don't feel like that she was not supporting her by not staying there. I don't feel like, I'm not like, if you want to stay here and deal with this, I'm leaving. Like Kiki still has to be mindful of herself respect, right? You threw a drink on me. I'm not staying here. Nobody apologized to Kiki. Nobody even apologized for Julia doing that. Nobody said, I'm sorry she did that to you. I'm sorry. Nobody said that. So I don't know if that's maybe what the support you're talking about, but Larsa and Marysol said it like right then and there. They didn't like it. So I'm not sure what y'all want it to look like. Maybe it was like apologizing to her for what she did. Maybe that's what y'all are talking about. Maybe that's it. I don't want to stay anywhere I'm not wanted because that drink got on Kiki too, and she didn't even apologize to her for getting the drink on her. She didn't. She did not. Someone said Julia reacted that way because Gertie was telling the truth. That's what it was. She was telling the truth, and you want to look a certain way. And if Gertie finishes the story, you're gonna look different. But instead, what you did was throw the drink on her and look like a bigger fool. You should have let her tell the story instead of trying to stop her. Now you look like a wild banshee. I was like, what is wrong with Julia? It was weird the way she was acting. I said, I hope she doesn't skip the reunion. Gertie used the word hysterical, and she's right. They were going back and forth, but the way Julia was just went all the way in. I feel like throwing a drink on someone is the same thing as hitting them. I don't like when people do stuff like that. I don't like it. Use your words. Use your words. Use your words. And I think that's what Gertie told her. Like, use your words. You need to talk. Really? Because she was like very aggressive and erratic towards her. It was very weird the way she was acting towards her. And I'm like, where is this, all this hostility is from her not asking how Martina was doing? It's something else. There's something else that is happening here. I don't want her to skip the reunion because that's the type of bullshit like what's her name did. Brisket skip the reunion because you guys don't want to face this. You were wrong. Like throwing that drink on Gertie was it didn't make sense. I was like, girl, what in the hell is wrong with Julia? That was the weirdest shit. I said, I need to watch it again. Julia lost her motherfucking mind. Why do y'all like it when someone like Broke Edie goes off and overreacts on Kenya, but Julia is wrong for her behavior toward Gertie? I'm just asking. Can you explain it like I'm PJ's mama? I want to know. Scammer. I want to know. I want to know. Y'all going up for the way Broke Edie is acting, but not going up for the way that Julia is acting. What is the difference? What is the difference? What is the difference? I want to know. I'm gonna have my espresso bean bites, dark covered in dark chocolate. Shout out to Stacy, socially Stacy. This is what bothers me most. Gertie was actively fighting cancer, doing rounds of radiation and having multiple surgeries. We literally see visible scars on her body. How are they treating her this way? They barely supported her last year when she told them. That's true. Like that, like I'm like, where's this? Why does Martina? Why does all this like stuff need? I don't get it. I don't get it. I didn't get it at all. I didn't get it at all. And I don't understand why Julia is acting like Gertie is using her. It was weird. Gertie does not need. I said, I get why she stayed, but I wish she would have left with Kiki. Has Julia apologized to Kiki? Gertie said, I ain't going anywhere. Sat back down, gorgeous as ever, read Julia for filth, and enjoyed the rest of the party unbothered. That's what you call a housewife. But I really wish she would have left. But we got to see Julia's character. We got to see her character. And I need to know, what is it? It has to be more than not asking how Martina is doing. Gertie said Julia had a facelift. I didn't see it. I did not see it. Let me see what some of the comments are saying. I'm going to go on Twitter and look at the hashtag RHOM. So Kiki is blaming Gertie. Fuck you, Kiki. Gertie said, okay, I already read that. Stop telling black women to play small so other people will feel comfortable around them. Shout out to Kimpire. You know who would have had Gertie's back? Dr. Nicole. They posted Dr. Nicole. So no one is going to defend Gertie here. Y'all watched Julia throw a drink at this woman and said nothing. Larsa and Marysol said something. They didn't act like they were in support of what she did. Now they did not. But I don't like the way Alexia acts with Gertie. I don't like it. I don't know. There's always that underlying thing. It's always that underlying thing there, you know? I don't know why Gertie would have to leave the show. She's there. I mean, everybody seems to be friends of on the show. It's only like four people, or like five people in the intro. Kiki is a friend. Marysol is a friend. Adriana is a friend. It's just Alexia, Gertie, Larsa, Julia, and Lisa. And Jody is her manager. Girl, I was like, girl, get out of here. I don't understand what they were talking about. He had crazy eyes, the way that Larsa was talking to him. Larsa do be talking to people crazy. She does go for, like, she says things, okay, well, fine. If you want to be hanging around with him and he calls you broke, fine, that's fine. She does stuff like that. Like, she injects stuff to, fucking with you. And so Jody's been hanging around with Marcus. So she believes that Lisa should unfollow Marcus on IG because you're my friend. You only know him through me. You don't have no deep relationship with him. Cut it off. I kind of understand where Larsa is coming from, because why are you don't need, you're not cool with him for real. You guys are never going to hang out. Now Jody hangs out with Marcus, but Lisa doesn't have to follow Marcus. Let them be friends. You don't have to follow him. You don't, especially if Marcus is talking to her the way she said he's talking to her. Why? Why? Like, it shouldn't even be a question. Like, why are you still following Marcus? You saw the way he was talking to me. You're my friend. I've known you for 1,000 years. What is this? Girl, unfollow him. I'm kind of with Larsa on it. But the way that Larsa, I don't know, the way that Larsa is, like, she literally goes for the jugular in the craziest ways. It's like, girl, calm down. But it's almost like Larsa is almost like she stabs you, but she has a straight face on. Like, she stab you, like, no, no, I'm gonna get you with my words, but it's like she stab you, but she just has this blank face on. Like, Larsa rarely, like, raises her voice. It's a little weird, and you think about it, because she just goes off and her voice doesn't change, and a fucking razor blade will come out of her mouth. And she just keeps going. Well, fine, if you don't like it. I mean, he did call you broke. I mean, I guess. That's all Larsa. Larsa's gonna get you a little dagger in there. She is. Girl, Larsa is a mess. And girl, when I tell you, she do not let her pussy cool down. Girl, let the pussy rest. Girl, she has a man in the audience already. How is it that every single one of them are, like, they're material enough to, like, bring out in the open, like, show people? I don't know. I don't get it. But Larsa and Marysol did say something immediately. And I think that's why Julia started crying, because she realized that she was not getting supported in what she did. Like, none of them showed support. I don't know if you could say they all kind of remained neutral, but Larsa and Marysol both said something. So y'all let me know what would it look like? And then also this burden that Kiki should have stayed with her. No, it's still put your oxygen mask on first. And if I'm in an environment where a drink was thrown on me in the process of throwing on you and nobody said anything to me, I feel like that was meant for me too. So I'm leaving, come with me or not, but I gotta go because Kiki still has to put her oxygen mask on. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to get you to leave. I want to de escalate the situation. And then Gertie was like, I'm not about to do anything. And I don't think that Kiki was grabbing her like she thought they were about to fight or anything like that. I think Kiki was like, let's go. Because clearly, I mean, you throwing drinks, girl, that's nuts. Like, and it was for no reason. Like, I'm just sitting here explaining the story. And it's like, you go off. Like, listen, because you wanted to go, and she stood up. And she stood up, and now she's standing over Gertie. And Gertie is looking up at her, like explaining to her, like, girl, what do you mean I took you on a boat? See that kind of language? I was like, it's almost like I took you somewhere and you outshined me. That's what it sounds like. But then you're injecting, you didn't ask about Martina. Like, I don't know. I was like, girl, it's something else. That's what I'm saying. And if it's not anything else, you're nuts. And I didn't see Julia's apology. Let me go online and see Julia, her apology. Julia, Real Housewives, Miami, and then apology. Oh, she made a video? Julia apologizes to Gertie. Okay, this is on Reddit. Okay, it's taking me to Reddit. Oh, and then she uses cursive. Girl, that doesn't make it sweet. I don't give girl the cursive writing. I'm sorry. I be looking at everything. Cursive on this girl, you're not a sweet, gentle cursive girl. You're giving very much what is the one that looks like the monster one that it's all prickly on the outside. The font is all prickly. That's what you should have used. You little prickly bitch. My beautiful souls, this season, you've seen a different side of me. One, even I've struggled to finally explain. The truth is, before we began filming, something life changing happened. I was given a chance to welcome two incredible boys into my life. So that was making you erratic and weird. Like, girl, and that's what I'm saying. Like, girl, let me read what she has to say. Let me finish because you sound stupid. I was given a chance to welcome two incredible boys into my life. It was sudden, emotional, and felt deeply destined. But here's the part no one saw. The adoptions weren't finalized, not yet. I was living in an emotional in between, loving these boys fiercely while navigating legal uncertainty and keeping so much of it quiet. It was overwhelming. Beautiful, yes, but also fragile, sacred, and stressful beyond words, which is why I was so cautious about sharing anything about them in writing. So when moments came up, like sending that strange message you all saw, I didn't always show up as my best present or thoughtful self. Okay, so Julia was upset. Another reason that she said she was upset with Gertie was when she found out, when she told everybody about the boys. They're adopting two boys, which is weird because even Martina was like, we're like grandmothers. Like, it's whatever. I would watch that. I don't know. Anyways, do what you're going to do. And so she made an announcement to everybody, and they were on a Zoom call. Adriana is mad at Julia because she didn't tell her privately, and Gertie didn't make it on the call. I guess her call was dropping, but then later sent Julia a message that said congrats, and that was like it. And so she felt like it was a little cold, um, you know, about something that was really life altering for her and these adopting these children. Okay. So she said, okay. So I didn't always show up as my present or thoughtful self. And when it came to Gertie, the truth is, at the time, we weren't in the close, heart connected place we had once been. Our friendship had stifled a bit, not in anger, not in conflict, just life pulling us in different directions. So when she reached out, I was so wrapped in protecting my own emotional chaos, I fumbled. I never meant to come off cold, careless, or bizarre. I was simply in a storm of my own. This has been a season of growth, messiness, and deep transformation. Thank you for giving me the space to walk through it imperfectly, but with full and open heart. With love, always, Julia. Did she apologize to Gertie? Wait, where's the apology? I didn't see an apology. I don't see an apology here. As let me see. She was loyal to the camera. Gertie and Julia's friendship is at a point of no return. In an exclusive interview with the Post, Gertie, 47, addressed her shocking falling out with the Real Housewives of Miami co star that began to play out during Wednesday's season 7 premiere. Not at all, the party planner said when she was asked if she saw the drama coming. Blindsided is not the word. You're loyal when there's no cameras, and that was me. And she was only loyal to the camera, is how I'm going to pretty much say that. Yeah, it was very weird. During the episode, Julia shared news that she and her wife adopted two sons on a Zoom call. But after Gertie joined the call and then left, Julia felt unsupported. Months later, Gertie told the Post that Julia was someone who I didn't recognize at all during filming. I called that person, and that version of what I saw this season was Judas, not Julia, she stated. What people do to get to whatever they want to wait what people do to get to wherever they want to go, their destination, and them stepping on whatever's in front of them that's been loyal is really sad. I don't know what she's saying on the other side, and it doesn't really matter because the truth will 100% clear it up real quick. The mother of two added, the facts are the facts, and I have them all. I got receipts. Since filming wrapped, it's been confirmed that Julia fell out with both um, Gertie and Adriana. Ooh, there's a pattern, Gertie said when asked about Julia and Adriana's drama. So you're talking about someone who's been engaged 9 times and is always hopping and hopping. Is it clout chasing? Is it social climbing? Whatever you call it, the facts are there. I'm loyal to a fault. Been married for 30 years, Gertie noted. Adriana has been a friend of hers for so many years, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. You will see what happened. But some people stay ready, and then there's ones who are the ones that are always hopping. So call them a bunny that hops, right? Gertie also confirmed that she is firmly on Adriana's side. Adriana and I see each other for similar situations that we were in, and we just don't know what to do with it because we're like, who is this person? That's what I'm saying. She was acting really, I was like, girl, what the fuck is wrong with her? And to me, I feel like you adopting children, I don't know what the process is like. I've never tried to adopt a child. So I don't know if it's stressful or not or whatever. But I think that wouldn't bring about that erratic, like nasty behavior. If why how are you erratic and nasty and you're trying to adopt children? Like how is that that's not in alignment? To me, I feel like that would, I don't know, have a different expression than this hostility and anger. Like maybe, I don't know, like that going through that process made you lash out like that. That shit was weird, bro. And then, and once it becomes this performance to make a sorority, like hazing, for example, which you'll see when it becomes a problem, Gertie said. And when that line gets crossed and it becomes physical for that achievement, that's when it's a no-go. So you will see that happen, and it's at my demise. With the season 7 reunion yet to be filmed, Gertie told the Post that she isn't looking to make amends with Julia during the dramatic sit down. I just hope to respect myself and my beliefs and to make sure that people know their boundaries, she shared. Those are the only things that I hope for. The good thing about this group is that we do care about each other. Julia and I started on the show together. We have had a very big past. When I was on my bed with my surgery, she was sitting on my bed with Nicole. So my perception of our friendship is apparently different from her perception of our friendship, she added. And that's where she's able to do things to, I guess, sleep at night, because once you say to yourself, "Oh, you know what? We weren't really good friends." You can so that you can then throw stones and do things to people and say we were never good friends. So I was able to do that. But then when the clapbacks happen, then it's, oh, she betrayed me. Exactly. Because in the interview, Julia goes, how could a friend say those things to me? I thought y'all weren't that good of friends. Like it was weird the way she acted. So you'll see how the game is played. That's what Gertie said. So shout out to Gertie. Gertie's beautiful. That's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm like, she's going through the same thing. So all these excuses that you're coming up with for the way that you treated Gertie, they're not in alignment. So I feel like you're not telling the truth. I'm sorry. It has to line up for me. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe that's the Libra rising in me, but it has to line up for me to be like, because when it's too much and when you're overreacting, I feel like you're trying to hide something. That's how I feel. And I feel like when she threw that water, she wanted to silence her. And I understand why she stayed. And I understand why Kiki left and tried to get Gertie to come with her. They were even speaking in French to each other, saying, listen, let's go. Like, she was like, no, I'm staying here, honey. I'm staying here. That's what Gertie said. I'm staying here. You're not going to run me off. So the truth doesn't come out. So let's see. Let's go to the Bravo. Let's see. How long have, oh, we've been talking for a long time. Okay, let me come back and make another video. So y'all let me know about the Gertie situation. That's the only thing that's really happening right now. Gertie and Julia's storyline. And then Marysol is getting married. Adriana's in a new relationship. Lars is in a new relationship. Alexia is going back and forth with Todd, who, it's weird. Like Todd literally moved out of their house without telling her, slowly but surely. I don't know how you didn't notice, but I don't know what kind of love bubble you're in, because I do think that Alexia is the Cuban Teresa Giudice. Like I like feel like they share brains, and it's on a Wi-Fi and a Bluetooth connection, because after a man does that to you and you still are like still entertaining him, like he's sneaky. Like he literally moved out of the house, like from under her nose, like slowly moving things out of the house, and she didn't even notice. And she said she came home. Where did they come from? She came home and everything was gone. And then he had filed divorce, and then after filing divorce, she's still messing around with him. And then she did that whole performance at that table when they all went out, when old boy came back from, I think he was in Spain, and they had a dinner party for him, and he came back and she's like, oh, fuck him, girl. And then you went later and fucked him. Girl, give me a break. Alexia is a numbskull. Like, I don't, girl, Alexia is a trip. Anyways, y'all, so that was it. And then Gertie is, going through her journey. She's getting her breasts reconstructed so they can look, I guess, asymmetrical, or symmetrical, not asymmetrical, symmetrical. So just doing some like work, because she has some scarring or whatever. And then oh, Kiki, I don't like the advice that her mother is giving her. I do not like that hierarchy where you have to respect someone who mistreated you. Kiki's father was abusive, and they kicked Kiki out when she was 14 years old. They called her whores and everything like that because she was modeling. You're showing your body. He kicked her out. And I guess he's trying to come back into her life. And then her mother's like, you need to talk to your father. That's your father. Like that talk, you know? And Kiki's like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't really want to be like fool with him because to me, I don't know. I think a lot of people want to see their parents like, that's why they want to introduce like the children, like I want my child to be in the life. And then it's like, but then you start seeing like they start parenting them like they parented you, and so you're like, I don't want you around because I had to go to therapy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no. So anyway, so go ahead and let me know what you think about Kiki, Gertie, and Julia, and the rest of the girls. Larsa, I feel like Larsa and Marysol said it right then. I'm gonna have to give them that because they did. Because I saw everybody saying they didn't. No one backed Gertie up, and I'm like, okay, but where? Like, and then what would backing her up? What would that like? Describe what that would look like for you for to back Gertie up in that situation. I'm thinking maybe y'all are meaning that no one apologized. Like, I'm sorry she did that to you. Like, no one apologized to Gertie. We did not see that. Nobody apologized to her. So maybe that's what y'all are talking about in the support. But they did tell Julia. And I think that's why Julia started crying because she knew that, like, you look crazy right now. And my image of Julia is like when she threw that water, it erased my image of her. Like, girl, ugh, you're gross. Get the fuck out of here and call the people. Because if you were acting like that and erratic and hostile like that, and you're about to like welcome children into your home, and that's the energy that you're giving out, it's like it doesn't make sense. It's out of alignment. So it's something else that she's not saying. And all these excuses, you need to be honest because these excuses they're not they're not in alignment. I need it to be in alignment. I need it to be like this. It's too much like this, Julia. So Julia tore her drawers with me. So bye, Julia. Anyways, y'all take care of each other, protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. Peace.